It would be incredibly hard to consider yourself a PC gamer if you haven't heard of the game CSGO or even the map Dust 2. Dust 2 is the most iconic map in CS history. Dust 2 was developed by David Johnson before the official release of the original Counter-Strike game. It was designed with aims of simplicity and balance, based on its symmetrical design and 2 points over which the two teams must fight for control. Most other first-person shooter titles will also have a variation of Dust 2. Just look at VR and you can see these types of maps popping up over and over. It is because it is one of the most popular maps that any person has played on. This does, however, come at a cost, as many players feel that it is very repetitive and start to develop a negative stigma towards that map. Now, let's get into why the map is so popular in the first place. Really, we can dial this down to 3 main reasons. The first reason is the fact that it is not overly complicated. This map has a decent balance of complexity where you have multiple ways that you can move across it to accomplish your goals. The second reason is it's not underly complicated, where there becomes a very rigid way of playing that hampers the individual's playstyle. The final reason is because of how familiar players have become with the map, and ultimately the familiarity makes it so that players will feel able to come back in the future. Now, that's enough on the history lesson for CSGO. Let's get into the counterpart for Beyond All Reason. We essentially have 2 types of maps that are this way in Beyond All Reason currently, and it's been an argument with many people over whether or not this is healthy for the community. In my opinion, whether it is healthy or not, I believe this is something that's unavoidable. As we've discussed, there are 3 reasons why Dust 2 was very popular across even multiple genres of games. Simplicity, but not oversimplicity. Complication, but not overcomplication. Familiarity. And this is what will cause players to gravitate towards certain maps in a game. It is only when you hit all 3 of these points that you will see a map develop into a staple like we see with All That Glitters and Supreme Isthmus. Another interesting thing is that these 3 reasons will end up feeding off of each other into a spiral effect. It almost appears to be purely by chance that a map will be adopted in such a way in any game. Many maps follow very similar principles that keep them well balanced and not too complicated, so that they're easy to pick up by the new players. Once a map is determined to be both entertaining, simple, and familiar, more players will begin to pick it up. As it is determined to be popular, then more people will begin to play it just based on its popularity, and it will spiral and grow as new players join into the community. A lot of people are quite concerned with this, and reasonably so, because it can lead to a little bit more shallow knowledge of a full game and a shallow understanding of how to play in different situations. Players should learn to adapt to their surroundings and have a better understanding of all the complexities that may come in a different map. This, however, is not what every person is looking for when playing a game. This idea is more of a competitive mindset than it is a casual enjoyment of something fun and familiar. It's okay to fully devote to learning every aspect of a game and wanting to become the very best. And it is equally okay to not have that same desire and want to play more of a casual, relaxing game that you better understand. So the question we must ask ourselves is, what should change? Or even, should anything change? I would like to just look at the people who have gone before us. When a popular map in a certain game came out, how did they react? As far as I know, I haven't seen any of the game developers in previous games such as CSGO delete maps that are popular, but rather they would play off of those popularities to try to grow the community. Now, on the side of competitive gameplay, we need to think of this a little bit differently. With competitive gameplay, you are judging a person's skill and giving them a rank based on that skill. If they have not earned the skill in all of its completeness, you should not give them the rank if they have not completely earned it. We can look to similar issues that other game developers have had and see what they did about that type of problem, where we increase the total overall skill of a player before giving them their rank. A lot of times this is achieved through a competitive rank pool, which allows the most competitive players to show off their skills and show what they really can do on a wide variety of maps and situations, while also leaving the casual player to mess around with the game as they see fit. It just won't adjust their rank. Now, we got to keep in mind that Beyond All Reason is still in the very early development stages of the game, so a lot of these ranking and matchmaking systems aren't in place yet. But we need to be patient as Beyond All Reason grows and help work with the developers to better understand what players are looking for in maps. We should also all be willing to expand on what we know and try to find some new things about the game. We shouldn't be so afraid to try something new. I hope you all enjoyed this video on Beyond All Reason and the Dust 2 of our game. I hope that you were given some value in it as well and have a better understanding of why these maps become so popular in the first place. As always, guys, if you got value and stayed to the end, definitely hit that subscribe button. It really helps out a lot, and I will see you guys on the battlefield.